What's up guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about a knife that's probably on the bigger side and that's still a folding knife. And of course that's going to be coming from the company Cold Steel. And of course that is going to be the Cold Steel SR1 Lite. Now to get started on this knife there is going to be two options. There's going to be the SR1, then there's going to be the SR1 Tanto, and then the SR1 Lite Tanto. So the SR1 and the SR1 Tanto are going to be the higher end version, which are going to have better steel and G10 handles. These ones are going to be the SR1 Lites, which are just going to have their Gryvex handles and which are going to have their 8CR13 MOV steel on them. So that's going to be the difference between the two knives. So like I just said, this is going to have their Gryvex handles on them, which are going to be really like super grippy. They've got a really great texture on them. So as you can see, it's got a really nice like texturing along there. You can hear it. And it's a super like grippy handle to have. So the grip on this handle is just absolutely amazing. Like the shape of it just sits right into your hand. You get a really super great grip on it. And you can even choke up all the way up to the front to get in to do some really nice detail working, or you can kind of sit back and kind of chill and get that really nice grip going on. And that Gryvex grip really helps with locking your hand in and getting that super good lock in when you're trying to do work. Another thing I do like about this knife is going to be that jimping along the back here. Now it doesn't look like a lot because it's more kind of bumps than grooves, if that makes any sense. So it's more kind of on the lines of just having somewhere to sit your thumb, but it actually does help. It gets a really nice grip on your thumb and it just stops that thumb from sliding around too much as it would on anywhere else. And this is going to be a 8CR13 MOV steel, which of course everyone's going to be like, oh, it sounds like a really cheap steel, but as long as you maintain the blade and you keep it sharp and you don't overly abuse it, it isn't going to be an issue. You can also baton with this knife, which is something incredible, but I do not recommend doing it because in case you do hit it too hard or the wrong way, it may break and then you'll be out of a knife. The blade thickness of this is going to be 4.8 millimeters. So it's going to be a pretty thick blade. The blade length is going to be 4 inches. The handle length is going to be 8 inches. Another thing about this knife is it is going to be a thumb started ambidextrous thumb stud open and close. So if you look on here, you can see the ambidextrous thumb studs are going to be on here. I've had no issues with them. They're super easy to get your hand in there and get a really nice opening on the blade. So this lock is going to have the triad lock on it. It is super great. Like it is super strong. It's super easy to use. You can still get a really nice flick on the knife, really nice push down, and a really nice close. I've had no issues with it. I've had no sticking or anything. It drops down. It's actually a really good lock, and I do highly recommend Cold Steel for pretty much any knife that you want. If I had to choose between using something like my Gerber Strong Arm, Gerber LMF2, the Gerber Grills fixed blade, or any of those different knives, I would probably choose the SR1 Lite, as it is more of a cheaper knife with kind of more cheaper materials. So if I do break it, I don't worry about it too much and I'll go buy a new one. And it's such a good knife. It's still big, it still folds, pretty much unbreakable, and is on the cheaper side. So it kind of ticks all the boxes for everything that I want. Now one thing that I do have to note with this knife is the fact that I have taken the pocket clip off, which something I do have to mention is absolutely great that Cold Steel did. They made sure that the pocket clip was ambidextrous. Now that's something that I did really like because this is an ambidextrous knife. You can open it with your left hand, not very good, and you can also close it one-handed with your left hand. Nailed it. One thing I did note with the pocket clip is that when it was on, it was like super tensioned and you couldn't get any bend in it to get it to go into your pocket. If you've ever had a Cold Steel knife, you will know what I'm talking about. So one thing I don't like about Cold Steel is going to be their pocket clips. I do love Cold Steel. They make amazing knives and they're an amazing company, super friendly, super helpful and everything. But there's just one issue is going to be the fact that their pocket clips are not deep carry and they're also not going to have any flex in them. So when you're trying to push it into your pocket, you're kind of just pushing your pocket down and kind of breaking your pocket and the stitching in your pocket, and it's kind of just not great, especially the fact that these Gryvex handles have got a lot of texture on them, so as you're trying to push your pocket clip in, it's catching on that Gryvex and pulling at your pockets. So I recommend they rather get a different type of material or like a different type of design for their pocket clips, or they cut out a section for the pocket clip in the Gryvex handle so it's not rubbing on it and kind of ripping your pockets up. But that would be my only complaint. I have taken mine off and I use this as a drop-in pocket knife now because I wouldn't want it clipped in my pocket anyway, as it would stick out too far and it kind of just becomes intrusive and starts hitting on things. So I just drop it down into my pocket like it's a slip joint. So that is going to be it for today, guys. If you do like the Cold Steel SR1 Lite or the design and the look and everything, go click the link in my description. It'll take you straight to the Cold Steel website, straight to this knife. But if you do want to see the other knives, just click on their website and it'll take you to every single knife that they own. Cold Steel also do swords and axes and massive crazy things that you might be interested in, so go check out their website and go buy something because they've got amazing stuff. Another thing to mention is this knife, as Australian dollars, it is like $97 or something, so it is super cheap, under $100, and is pretty much indestructible, as I keep saying. So go check them out, go buy a knife. So thanks for coming, guys, and I will catch you guys next week. Stay safe.